Hey, good afternoon. It's Wednesday, May 31st, and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. So great to have you along today. Just a quick note, yesterday I mentioned briefly about the opportunity for membership in the channel. I'm going to put a link today where you can sign up for that. It's just a new way to engage and get some support and get some uh, monthly perks back. I'll be writing on some things on how we can take every thought captive, how we can be engaging in wisdom. But again, thank you so much for your encouragement with that. If you're already a member, don't worry, we've got it wired and you'll be hearing from me shortly on that. But I'll put a link to it in the description of the video today. And thanks so much for even considering that. And thank you for just being a part of what's going on here at Everyday Talk 24/7. We are talking about wisdom from above and the components of wisdom from above. First one was pure, someone who's totally devoted to the things of God. We talked about that yesterday. The second one is peaceable, or your translations may read peace-loving. The idea is that we are about sowing peace, being a people of peace. Psalm 46 says that God causes our enemies to cease, causes wars to end. That's peace. In the Beatitudes, Jesus says this: "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God, children of God." It's such a special, beautiful thought. Paul says in Romans that as far as it depends upon on us, we need to be at peace with all people. Peace is a fruit of the Spirit. It's an active ingredient of what it means to know God. So peace is important, and you can see this theme running throughout the New Testament and all of Scriptures. So this component of wisdom from above, peaceable, is the thing that God has called us to, because He's the one who brings peace. And we live in a world where peace is a rare thing. We can't find people at peace. I'm not talking about the military sense, where nations are at war, although we may be back there again. That's not the component of peace I'm talking about. I'm talking about peace in the human heart, about where we are, about how lost we are, going our own way. And there is no peace going on there. There is no sense of joy and solidness, but upset and unevenness. Peace in the biblical sense is not passive. The practical working definition I like to use of peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is knowing God in the middle of conflict. It's doing the things that God has called me to do. Even if things are chaotic around us, I know it's what God's called me to do. That's what brings peace. So peace is not eliminating all the mess of my life. Peace is about doing the things that God has called me to do that are going to bring honor to Him. If I'm there, then I can have peace no matter what's going on around me. If I'm consistently consumed with the things of God, consistently consumed with pursuing righteousness, about speaking pleasantly, about not returning good for evil. Remember, a soft answer turns away wrath. A gentle answer. How many times are we creating unpeace, if you will, by the way we respond? We're sharp. Even if we think we're right, we're not kind. We just speak very harshly and sharply. That's not peace. That's bringing something entirely different to peace. It brings upset, unhappiness. We have ways to engage in peace all around us, constantly, every day, by simply doing the things that God has called us to do without regard to circumstance, without regard to the way I think it's going to work out, but simply because I know that this is what God has called me to be. That's how I can say peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is knowing God, doing what He's called me to do in the middle of conflict. It's kind of special. The clouds were it's kind of cloudy here, and now you see this beautiful blue sky opening up behind me. The peace that God brings to us is what settles us. So I'm not driven by circumstance. I'm not driven by what other people say. I don't have to be up and down, up and down, up and down, and not have rest because of all the things people say and do or circumstance. Doesn't mean they aren't trying and difficult. But if I'm about God, trusting Him, then I have the confidence and the peace of knowing that my actions have the intent of bringing honor to His name, because I know that's what His Word teaches. Pleasant words promote instruction, but not harsh words. That brings peace. We want to know the peace of Christ by doing the things of Christ. We know the peace of Christ by doing the things that Christ has called us to do. See, there's nothing passive there at all. Something strong and trusting. And this kind of peace, it requires courage. Because everything around us, our senses, people around us, are urging us something different than peace. Because peace is not something that is weak. Peace brings us hope. That's the joy that we can have. That's the hope that we can have. That's why peace is one of the components of wisdom from above. And it's a beautiful component. These words here again, you'll find these themes in other places, but in James 3:17, we see these beautiful examples of wisdom from above. And peace is certainly one of the ones that gives us great hope and joy. And that's the thought for this day. Thank you so much for watching. It is such a huge encouragement.